I just bought this pedal. This is not a review. It's not a demo. And I could have gotten it free, but then I wouldn't have been free. I am free because I paid for this thing. Now, when I say I paid for it and I am free of expectations from nice people at the company or anyone else, really. And when I talk about it being a tool, this comes from a legacy, the M9 and the M5, and really the M13 also, of pedals more than a decade old that are being used to this day on professional pedal boards. This might be the continuation of that legacy. Who knows? We won't know, but it does have some really fine attributes. I just want to show you a couple of musical examples, and then you can decide for yourself. There's a lot of great tutorials on this on YouTube, so just go to those if you want more in-depth information. I just want to show you how I would use it quickly and under fire in the hot seat in a musical situation on a song. So that's Retro Reel, which is a very cool warped vinyl effect. I kicked up the saturation, which acted as a really nice gain boost and hit the amp in a nice way. And then I kicked up the wow and flutter too to give it that warble and that modulation. I'm going to try a very different concept now by adding stereo delay in my DAW. So my buddies at Sweetwater said, hey, you paid for it, but why don't we give one away for free? So click the link and join the contest below and win a free HX1 and an expression pedal from Sweetwater. So this thing has a feature called Flux, which allows you to automate all kinds of different parameters between two zones in a patch. Everything can move into another kind of intensity and then move back at your discretion. Now see those bumps on the mix bar? Those are the minimum and maximum parameters when you automate Flux. Of course, I found the high side was best at 100%. Now you can automate any of these parameters. I found the off time was a little more musical if I made it a little bit longer. So now I'll turn on the effect and turn on the looper, and then we'll do the Flux. So that's how I would use Flux. I would use it to emphasize a musical event that would actually be awkward if you just clicked it on and off. This is a gradual swell in and out that actually is musical. We're also giving away a brand new collection of 30 free guitar lessons. So if you want to transform your guitar playing, there's a link below, click on it, and you'll have instant free access. I said to myself, what are the chances of finding an overdrive that sounds good in this? As accustomed as I am to all these esoteric overdrives, I found one really quickly. It's called Alpaca Rouge, but it sounds good. So I set the amp to something very plain and unadorned, and I turn it on and... Now, one of the reasons I suggest you look at the other YouTube videos on this is the YouTubers who show this generally show it in stereo. So you put the headphones on, the lush reverbs, the modulations, everything is beautiful stereo. It's the best way to hear the fidelity of this thing. I'm doing it in mono, and I'm putting it right in front of an amp, and the amp has gain on it. It's edge of breakup. It's a different game. I adjust the effect parameters to sound good in front of an amp that's gained up. We've got the guitar into the amp, which right now is the Jet Black by Bad Cat, channel 1. Then it goes down into the vault through an old 412 cabinet, 25 watt Celestions from 1970, pre-roller Celestions. Those go into microphones. The microphones come up here to these BAE Neve clone mic pre's. Those go into the Apogee Symphony. Then it goes into my DAW, into Pro Tools. So in just a couple of minutes, I'm going to turn on my looper and cycle through a bunch of patches, dozens of them, and kind of remind you about how much they actually load this thing up with. Now, I'll be in the modulation category, but I think you guys already know there are dozens of drives, fuzzes, reverbs, delays, synthesizers, and wacky effects. Now, one of the reasons that the Line 6 M9 became such an enduring tool for musicians, particularly session musicians, is that you don't have to menu dive. Now, this is a subject for debate, but I really feel like guitar players who are under the gun to create great guitar parts instantly, they shy away from pieces of gear that you have to hunt and peck through menus on. And indeed, if you start doing that on a session, you're going to lose confidence in the room pretty immediately. So I think the M9 is such an important tool because you don't have to menu dive. Now, here's some players who are talking about it, and thanks to Mason for including me with this crew.
But for some reason, session musicians, whether we're talking about Tim Pierce, who's one of the most prolific LA session musicians, or we're talking about Tom Bukovac in Nashville, or Kenny Greenberg, or Derek Wells, or Jerry McPherson, these guys are all people that invariably you've heard on hit recording after hit recording, whether it's pop charts, whether it's country charts, and they're invariably all using this M9.
So it's just, once again, it's just so I can move quickly. If there's some more ambience needed, I'm not reaching down there and tweaking stuff. I can just kind of stay efficient, keep moving.
Great delay. It's got a little mod.
Now, do you primarily use this for the delay, or just all the other
everything.
weird stuff?
Reverbs are great.
Yeah.
Chorus.
Now, my solution at a certain point was to move from the M9 to the M5 because real estate on my pedal board was so valuable, yet I wanted to have all those sounds available. The M5 does lots of normal stuff too, but I have it set for a quirky one. Now, when I pulled the HX1 out of its box and started using it, I was able to do pretty much everything I needed to do without the manual. And that leads me to believe it might be able to be the kind of tool that we'll use that'll be just this side of the menu diving problem that prevents us from actually using a piece of gear in the heat of battle. Hey guys, a lot of the time YouTube will bring you my videos even though you're not subscribed. If you get the chance, click this subscribe button and ring the bell.